What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Jack Ramsays postgame show. I'm flying solo tonight because Brandon Sprague's a coward. There, I said it. Also, he doesn't have internet. So, there's that. The best part about this is he has no idea that we're live right now. We can say everything and anything we want about him. So this is a Brandon Sprague slander-proof room. There you go. Trailblazers win tonight in unspectacular fashion, if there ever was such a thing. But I tell you what, right now, they needed to win. They got to win 110-92. Michael Keefe. Yeah, Pistons look like the Washington Generals. I tried to tell you guys, they can't shoot. They had me a little scared there for about 5 minutes. It looked like, oh no, the Pistons learned how to shoot. And then reality set back in. I didn't do the lower thirds for this game because it doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't. Let's move this around. Do some on-air editing, which always goes well, right? There we go. We'll just kind of hover over. Nah, never mind. Screw it. That's kind of night I'm having right now. Andrew, there's a time in this game where Pistons started hitting from three, and I was worried. Yeah, let's just kind of go through the recap real quick. The first quarter was the first quarter that the Pistons looked mostly competent, or I should say probably one of the only quarters they looked mostly competent. It was actually their second lowest scoring quarter of the game, but they're just not good. They can't hit shots, and if Jeremy Grant's not hitting, he was 4 of 14 tonight. Sadiq Bey's 1 of 9. When those guys were, 5 of 23 together, that's a non-starter. Jackson was 3 of 10. They ended up shooting 38%, 25% from three. They did get to the free throw line a truck ton. But box score-wise, it was really fun to watch Cade tonight. I kind of want to see him more as a playmaker, have him be on ball a little bit more. But other than that, yeah, it was a rough night for the Pistons. I don't know how much of that is the Blazers. And in fact, I don't think it was a ton of the Blazers. I just think that the Pistons are a really bad team. But this is not to take away from the Blazers. Yeah, Jeremy Grant going 4 of 14 helped. That's exactly it. But Portland tonight, Nurk had a nice night, 13, 8, and 5. Obviously, the big story, Ben McLemore, 17 points in 18 minutes, 5 of 10, 4 9 from 3. So, basically, everything he threw from 3, he hit. Guess what? He can still hit threes really well, and he's got a really quick release. I think he's only a career 36% three-point shooter. I know he had now I actually have to do this live. I know he had a couple bad years, but he also had a couple really good years. Yeah, career 36.3%. Like a steel trap. He did enough to kind of, well, not enough. He went bonkers in the 2 long shifts he was in there for. And anytime Detroit got even seemingly close, and listen, I love the optimism in the chat tonight. Yeah, blow it up and build around BMAC. Even if it's a joke, it's just fun. It was fun to have a game where, outside of a 5-minute stretch in the first quarter, it was just cool. It was chill. Spent a lot of time watching the Warriors and Suns on the other screen. So, so the phone right away. This changes nothing. No, it doesn't. And this is what we try to kind of state, that this is a very, very bad team. Here's the thing. I'm not going to drive home the, yeah, but they still suck thing tonight. I told you I am just, I want to stay away from that. They got to win tonight. They looked okay. They had 2 starters and a top-end rotation player guy sit out, and they still took care of business. That was the concern tonight. McCollum getting up 26 shots and forcing so many was frustrating. I would have liked to see Nurk get more involved. I would like to see him get some more touches. He seems to be kind of rounding into form as far as his confidence, his footwork, his timing. That's kind of where I think that they need him to be. They need him to be that guy. Michael Keefe. My favorite part was when ISO CJ hit the bench and the Pistons did not know what to do. Ball movement was fire. Jake from YouTube. So I guess play Ben more. Listen, it's not. I don't want to do this to Ben because he's not Nick Stauskas, but this was a Stauskas game. Like, just a shooter comes in, gets hot. Like, the Blazers are covered at guard, guys. Like, I know most are trolling, but let's chill a little bit with the serious ones before this gets out of control. Joey asks, how about them Phoenix Suns, Danny? Are they now the best team in the NBA? I'm jealous with how good they are on offense and defense. There's a reason why I had them in the upper tier. They're a good team, man. Especially when Ant started to cook and then CJ took the ball out of his hands. I thought Ant had a really good floor game tonight. Finished with 5 assists. CJ had 6. Nurkic had 5. I think somebody else had a couple too. Dennis Smith Jr. had 3. But I really liked Ant's floor game tonight. Matched up against Cade Cunningham defensively, who's a bigger guy. Cade tried to go to the block, and listen, credit to Cade. Cade hit some tough shots. I thought Ant, a couple things Ant tonight. One, he got pissed off numerous times. Love that. 2, he was talking to the ref and to other refs and other players. He did not like being held. I liked seeing it. Ant being fiery, irritable, actually talking and being aggressive. Sign me up for it. Had that little floater in the paint. Showcased, again, off the bounce. I thought he had a couple shots that he probably wished he wanted back, but I think there was also a couple times when he probably should have pressed the gas pedal down a little bit more. I think coming in with the second unit, he's got the greenest of lights. As a starter, perhaps, even though he's filling the Dame role, he knows he still slides behind CJ, and he's not quite great at picking his spots, even if he is the number 2, so to speak, when he's out there. I still think that's something he struggles with, is trying to find a pecking order when something's different. But other than that, found other ways to contribute. Defensively, I really liked what he did against Cade, even if Cade hit shots. James Pisarski, red-ass Ant. Yeah, no, 100%. 100%. Jake from YouTube, I was watching the game on the Pistons broadcast, and the commenter had a quote that you would have loved. Listen, Jake, let us know what it is. I wanted Ant to take control and shoot more from Joey. Yeah, no, I'm in the same boat. And that's always going to be, I think, my criticism. It's not even really a criticism. It's more of like a need. Like, when I watch Ant play, I go, you've got skills, you've got talent, you've got the bag. Like, put it together. Put it together and be aggressive, because when he gets downhill, just good things happen. For the most part, good things did happen tonight. Up and down the lineup, I think you got contributions from guys. Like I said, I thought Nurk had a really good game, being aggressive with Isaiah Stewart, and he made Stewart look small on quite a few possessions, which is a difficult thing to do. That kid is a truck. Stewart did acquit himself pretty well on the glass. 15 points, 14 rebounds, 6 offensive rebounds. Nurk ended up with 4. Kind of a weird rebounding night, 45, 43, but Stewart's the only one in double digits. I thought Zeller did a decent job out there, and I thought the guards contributed really well tonight. CJ with 4, Ant with 6, Snell with 4, Zeller with 6, Smith Jr. with 4. There were some good things. I thought Larry Nance Jr. looked a lot better tonight, even though it wasn't like a monster box score night. But I think, again, for the most part, outside of CJ's shot selection and Cove trying to do a little too much with the ball, everybody looked relatively decent tonight, because it's a really, really bad Pistons team. Jacob Phillips, we beat the worst team in the league all the way to the championship, boys. Listen, I'm just trying to celebrate a small win tonight, because you don't know how often these are going to come around. This team does play really well at home. Really well at home. Oh, there we go. OG1 says he's going to hop on the show one of these nights. So, shout out OG. He's one of the homies. But back to this game. Ant can be passive at times. Yeah, no, I think that's like the one real criticism of Ant, is that sometimes he lets himself fall into the background when he needs to be up front and center. Andrew Baird, first game I haven't been able to watch on League Pass due to being at work. Will not be going back to watch this one. No, this is not a rewatchable one. It was not an enjoyable game. It was a very workmanlike effort, which, makes sense because it's the Pistons. And Andrew gets to my next point. There was a period where somebody tweeted that they need Cove to stop with, pretending he's KD. And I felt that one pretty strong. I was like, yeah, Cove's... I mean, if you're going to try some stuff, trying it against the Pistons is the team to try it against. Let's be honest. The thing about this game is it's a win in the win column, as stupid as that sounds. But I don't think there's a damn thing you take from it. I really don't. Nurk maybe finding his kind of post-dominance swagger over the last 4 games, actually probably a 3-game road trip and tonight. He's had more of an attitude. He's been more of an asshole, to be honest. And I mean that in like the most beloving way. Like, I genuinely do. They need him to be that. Like, they outside of him, like Cove just goes out there and the only shitty thing he does is throw a mask at a ref. Dame's pretty quiet. CJ's pretty quiet. Ant doesn't talk. Nas flexes and has some fun. Larry mostly just gives side-eye to guys on his own team who don't do what they're supposed to do. And Zeller, just a country boy. And I don't think Snell has ever actually said a word. So you kind of need Nurk to be that dude. So yeah, I've liked what I've seen from Nurk. Showed that middle fake drop step spin, post move on Stewart twice. Got him with it clean, under control. He caught on that one little dump off, took power dribble, planted, just absolutely trucked Isaiah Stewart and finished at the rim. And I was like, that's the play right there, big fella. Of every single time he catches on a short roll, basically inside 10 feet, just take a big-ass jump stop and just anything that's in your way, just yard sale it. If you pick up an offensive foul, fine. But get your big 300-pound ass under control and then power up. You get an offensive foul, man, go with God. I'm cool with it. I mean, Chauncey might not be, but I'm okay with it. That's what I want to see. I love the way that the super chats read in the chat where it says Clay Wilson, lemon character and baby lemon blowing a party horn while marching. It is what it is. Andrew, saw your tweet and you were right. Nurk was being very patient, slowing down the paint with his touches his last 3 games. No, it's a real thing. Like, under control Nurk when he's going forward, and this has been a thing really for like 5 years. He's gotten away from the flip shots so much over the last 2 years. He regressed a little bit at times last year, but he is just, when he's going forward, he's so strong. He's so big that teams can't deal with him. Like, they just don't have the size to deal with him. And even if he takes a bad shot, if he's got his forward momentum going, he's got great touch. More often than not, if he's missing something, it's because he's missing it short. It's because he's, But if he's going forward, you get a little extra momentum and you might get that little bounce to fall in. That's kind of been my reasoning behind it. There's more to it than that, but that's ultimately where I end up. Do you also get scared when Snell is leading the break? Listen, I put out the flow chart tonight. Like the Tony Snell flow chart, I might legitimately get that made up into a poster and put in the studio when it's all done. It was the Tony Snell flow chart for anybody who didn't see it. Let me see if I can find my exact wording tonight, so I'll make sure I got it right. This is a slow tweet night, so it shouldn't be too hard to find. Oh, bother. There we go. It's the Tony Snell decision tree. Really needs to go something like this, and it's just 2 lines, and it's the deciding line is, what are you being asked to do? If it's shoot a 3, hell yes. If it's literally anything else, not a chance. That's it. Also, Jacob says, don't slander the Chief, Jeremy. Nurk would play better stoned. Yeah. I don't think I'm really going to fight that one. If it slowed him down a little bit, I like that. Yeah. I mean, I'm not endorsing it here. I'm just openly saying, just slow it down. That Snell fast break scared the shit out of me. He had the one where he finished the layup. I certainly was intrigued. I'll say that. This game in general just kind of left you just going, yeah, all right. Well, it's a game. It's a win. And I don't mean that to like just be obnoxious or anything like that. I'm sure some people are reading it that way, but it's the Pistons. They're probably the worst team in the NBA alongside the Rockets. It's coin toss. Figure it out. The Rockets probably have more top-end talent. So, but I'm glad the Blazers went out and took care of business. They showed some things defensively, I thought, at the point of attack. They were better in some instances, really bad in others. I mean, that has its own subtle undertones. Not being really small everywhere all at once makes it easier to not be dead at the point of attack. Just saying. What's worse, CJ's defense, Snell leading the break, or Rocco leading the break? CJ's defense. I don't even have to think about that one. And I've already seen like probably 1,000 text messages from somebody saying, I wonder if Jeremy Grant's trade value is going down. Guys, one game isn't going to break it up. Also, Rackety, shout out Mike Serrano. My friends aren't better at video games when they're stoned. Just saying. I wonder who he's referencing right there. I mean, who would do such a thing? Let me just say, the chat tonight is very fun. It's a lot more fun when we're not having to deal with. I think this is a let it all out game. Like as far as it's okay. The sphincter, relax, right? Like Hoover says it right. I'm so happy the Blazers won handily and gave some of our stars a night off. Yeah. And that there wasn't a pucker factor and there wasn't, just, come on. Are you kidding me? There was like that 4-minute stretch tonight where it was like, they better not go like this. It was within the first 6 minutes of the game. And to be fair to me, of course, a bit fair to me, is that they went out there and took care of business, but I did worry ever so slightly simply because historically, when they mess around way too damn much. How many wins are the Blazers getting in December? You know what? Let's play this game. Let me know what you guys think. I think there's, 14 games? We'll go. We got a little bit of time because it's going to be a short show because it's just me tonight. I just, it's not we're going to take a ton from this game. So we'll play the schedule game. We haven't played this one in a while, so. It's the theme music. I probably shouldn't do that because it's actual theme music, which means I probably get this banned somehow. DCMA claims, man. I haven't got one yet. Actually, that's not true. The Knicks have tried to hit me when I use some tape for Nerlens Noel in the offseason. I think that's what it was. All right. Let's take a look here. That's interesting. Weird. Makes me blow up the screen the entire way. Don't get me wrong, I was seriously watching that game until the end. All right. So Pistons game is done. So that means they have 3 more at home. 3 more at home. Then they have the 1 road game at Golden State. So the next 3, they have the Spurs, Celtics, and Clippers. So in this 4-game stand, 3 wins is good. 2-2 is probably acceptable. I think either side of that 4 or 1 are kind of like the polls. Like they're definitely not obviously going winless, but Spurs, I don't really even know if I'm afraid of them. The Celtics, even though they're just a bag of cats, like they just make no damn sense. They have a lot more talent. I think even though they're insane and they haven't made really any sense, that game because of Tatum and Brown, they've just absolutely eviscerated Portland recently. That's nightmare fuel. That's the game. The Clipper game, we've seen the Blazers, if they can knock down shots, they can compete with them because the Clippers' offense just can't keep up with them if they're going to knock down shots. I think that's the trade-off. The Blazers just have to play home-level defense, which they haven't really gone away from yet. So then they go on that 1 game on the road against Golden State. That's going to be a loss. Chalk that up. Nope. Timberwolves, that's a tough game. Timberwolves are actually, I think that's a game where I think it's going to surprise some people. They've been playing really well defensively. And the Timberwolves, I guess that's the actual bag of cats. Dogs? I don't know what a cat or a dog is, apparently. Phoenix Suns, that's a loss. Unless that's a schedule loss as far as the Suns, coming off another long road trip, that's a loss. Grizzlies, I'll give the nod to Portland because the Grizzlies' defense is actually worse than Portland's. And the Hornets game is a coin toss. That's a legit coin toss. Their size, their length, a bunch of playmaking wings. Yeah, that one's a coin toss. What was that? Evan says if we can't beat the Celtics at home, we need to blow it up. Well, I mean, you need to blow up the backcourt anyways. But that's where having to deal with a 6'7" and a 6'8" wing who can both get their own shots at any level is a nightmare for most teams. Just a pure hellscape for a team that starts 6'1" and 6'2". Like, don't get it twisted. John might be back for Memphis. I have a reeling suspicion he will. What night is that on, Memphis? 15th. That's still 2 weeks out. 2 weeks out. And then, again, obviously Hornets. And then they go on the road for a 2-game roadie at Memphis at New Orleans. They'll drop that Memphis game. They'll probably beat the Pelicans for their second road win. Jesus. They might not get their second road win until December 21st. Game 32. Good God. Good God. Then they come back home, and that's when it just gets dumb. The back end of December. Holy crap. Nets, Mavericks, Jazz. And then they finish up at the Lakers on a Friday night on New Year's Eve. Ryan, did I come in too late and miss the McLemore hype conversation? Yeah, you did. You did. But we can have a little bit more fun with talking about Mac. He's a good guy to have. He's a good guy to have. There's no doubt about it. Having a guy who can come off the bench and knock down shots for you. One of the most valuable, the two most valuable things you can have probably on like the deep bench in the NBA is have a bunch of big dudes who are athletic and run the floor and can like either be shot blockers or rim runners or stretch the floor. And then having somebody else who can come in and just knock down shots. That's about as valuable as it gets. Harmy says talk about Trendon Watford. I was pleasantly surprised. Listen, Trendon's a couple years away from being a couple years away, but that's okay. He flashes like some NBA skills. Like a big dude who can handle the ball. He's got some playmaking savvy. Like there's some things about Trendon I genuinely like. He's still incredibly raw. Like as raw as Greg Brown is, there's a couple things you go, that's an NBA ready skill right now. Rim runner, finishing, rangy athlete, competitive defensively, like those things, like those actually start ticking boxes for Greg. Like there's a path to real minutes for Greg. There's not a path to real minutes for Trendon yet. Like his handle isn't like so great that he can take advantage of mismatches. It's one of those situations where it's just I can see it. I can see some skills there. Let's see what he can do over the next couple of years and see if he can put something together. Like I'm pulling for him. Eduardo says Brandon sleeping. He might be. He doesn't have any internet right now, so I'm down for that. Are you getting a case of Bang for Sprang for Christmas? That's a good Christmas present for him. I can go with that. We signed McLemore for this game and his veteran locker room presence. There you go. Yeah, no, I mean, here's the thing. Mac is a good vibes guy. Like that's a real thing. That's actually a reason he was signed. Without going into the specifics of it, he's a vibes guy. He's just a good dude to have around, 100%. Lakers versus Blazers might be a schedule loss. We're really going to be in LA on New Year's Eve. Yeah, no, like I do tend to worry about that game ever so slightly. Andrew Baird, chances Blazers have the same roster come the Lakers New Year's Eve game. I don't know who's in charge. Who's in charge really is going to decide that. And I just got a tweet. CJ's a cancer to this team. Listen, CJ's not a cancer. It's just run its course in that regard. That's okay. I've said this before. I don't think I've said this a ton publicly, but I've said it privately a ton. These things are allowed to run their course. Like, it's okay to get tired of your coworkers or for things to just not be optimized anymore and for people to go a different way. It happens in every job. It happens in families. It happens in relationships. If the fact that CJ just doesn't feel like he fits in, yeah, then that's cool. That's fine. Like, I don't actively dislike him. I don't like his fit. That's the thing. MA Coker time will be 500 or less by New Year's. They'll be over 500. So we didn't finish playing the schedule again. Let me finish that up. So they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 games technically in December. 10 home, 4 road. 9-5, 8-6. 9-5, 8-6. I know I saw people say 10 and 11 wins. I'm just not that optimistic, even with them playing at home. They're gonna drop some of these home games, and it's gonna come back down. So I'll be slightly optimistic. I'll go 9-5. There you go. Ryan, how often do you go to games, Danny? I have not been to a game this year because of my legs, unfortunately. I was hoping to go probably about 2 weeks ago, and then, the hip news. So it's unfortunate. It sucks. I'll be honest. I was trying to figure out ways to do the show from the arena, be able to meet up with all you guys who were at games and just have some fun. And to take a game back in person after not being at the arena for 2 years. But my legs are so bad, it's really not a good idea for me to really even leave the house. I don't really mean to sound dramatic, but it's that bad. So doctors are worried if something happens and I fall, I could actually shatter my hips. It's that bad. So Brendan says it's better watch from home, better viewing experience, less traffic. I sound old. Listen, I sympathize with that. That drive from downtown to Newburgh, I was making that drive when I was wrapping up at NBC. I was living out here. We would get done at get off air 11:30, 11:45, do wrap, do commercials, do whatever we needed to do, get out of the building at 12:15, and then a 40-ish minute drive. I was getting home at 1. So there was a couple late national TV games where I didn't leave the studio until almost 1. And oh god, I like your Beatles Christmas red, green, and Bill hat. You're a monster, Steve. But yeah, no, there was a couple times when I got home at 1:30 in the morning. I was like, nah, man, I'm good. That one put a real damper on doing the post game show for that often driving that far. But it is what it is. The good news is, on a personal front, I'll go back to the basketball stuff, is after the hip surgery, it's supposed to only be a 12-week recovery for full recovery, full. I should be relatively normal within 6 to 8 weeks with my hips. Not normal as in normal, because that's never happening. Corbin, gotta love Blazers home games starting at 4 p.m. in New Zealand. Just got off work. That being said, if they lose after suffering a day at work, not great vibes. True. Absolutely. I will be on that near time frame. I'll be in Hawaii, and nobody's counting less than 2 weeks. And I'll be doing a show or two from Hawaii, trying to figure out logistically how I'm going to be able to do this. It might be downgraded ever so slightly because I'm going to have to run it off my laptop off condo internet. So it may not be the best quality, but I'm going to try. We'll see what I can do to figure that out. Hope you can get out to a game too. Listen, like I said, I'm hoping to get out and get to a game. And Michael says, we need you to stay home for this show. Listen, I'm trying. If I go to a game, I am trying to figure out how to make it work for the live show being there. Jeremy says, so post All-Star, Danny. Yes. Yeah, it's going to be a miraculous comeback. Could Sprague run a show by himself? No. So, 360p Danny hype. Yeah, no, it's going to be low grade internet. That's going to be the case. But I'm that actually might be an option if I can show Sprague exactly what to do. All I will need to do is click into the Zoom, and then he can push the button. But then I give him access to the stream key, and dun. What will that do? But let's take a look forward real quick. Obviously, San Antonio Spurs are coming to town. Spurs right now 6-13. They weren't one of the 4 teams that played tonight, right? Was it 4 or 5? 5 teams, and they did not. They were not active tonight. I wanted to know if they were on the road or traveling. It's just a weird team. Like, I don't really know what the point of the Spurs is right now. You've got some good players. Like, Dejounte Murray's a stud. I've always really liked him. Keldon Johnson's good. Jakob Poeltl's probably one of the more underrated guys. Devin Vassal's shooting the living piss out of the ball. He's kind of on par with Ant as far as being able to score from a bunch of different levels. And actually, his stats are actually pretty similar to Ant's now that I look. Yeah, good God. Minutes, shots, field goal percentage. Yeah, Devin Vassal's right there with Ant. That's kind of crazy. Okay. So he's been fun. Obviously, you got Derek White, Doug McDermott. Lonnie Walker's like just a fun player. But like they don't really make a ton of sense. So it is what it is. Free Wi-Fi courtesy of Toyota Moto. Listen, I'm down. Sprague would do a bong rip if he was solo. And see, we can't do that on the channel just because they. You can't do that. It's not allowed by the terms of service. And everybody is obviously pointing out that Zach Collins is on the team. He is not active. I think they've had like 17 guys play for this team this year too. So I haven't heard about Zach actually coming back this year yet. I think if he does, it's probably post All-Star break because they want to make sure that foot is good because if it happens again, lights out. Lights out. Unfortunately, and I don't want that. Like, I hope the kid gets healthy, man. He is, as somebody who has been through surgical hell, I genuinely pray for the kid. Like, I hope it comes together. I hope he figures it all out, and it's just Sprague running a show by himself sounds interesting. Yeah, maybe I'll see if I can farm out the show to be hosted by one of the former producers or technical directors of the Outsider show to see if I can get a little help. And just kind of figure it out from there. Like I said, this is kind of a BS session, just kind of hanging out. Pistons game isn't a whole ton to really rap on. And no Sprague. He's a monster, coward, all of the things. Tyler says Zach was practicing recently. Yeah, I've heard that they're going to take it very carefully with him. Listen, you guys can hear, they said post-Christmas. That's cool. Like, I also heard that he didn't have any issues with his first or second surgery and that he was just fine and that his shoulder wasn't that bad and that he was going to come back that season and then the next season. Just, yeah. Unfortunately. Connor says, get Joe. Joe and I are actually talking before the game tonight. He will make an appearance probably right when I get back from Hawaii. So, prepare yourselves accordingly. It'll be fun. And we'll wrap it up there just so you guys can get out of here. Have a good night. And remember, like, rate, review, subscribe, do all of the things. You can find us on social media at Danny Marang, at Brandon Sprague, at Jacked Ramsays. Leave us a review for the podcast, you monsters. See, now I went from begging to hostile. I'm trying different tactics and then just looking at the analytics, see what works. No, of course I'm kidding. Thank you all so much. Really, it's awesome. This has been kind of like, not to get like too corny, but this has been like a massive reprieve for me because the last couple of months I've been in a lot of physical pain between my legs and my hips now. And this is something like kind of gives me, because I can't do a whole lot physically right now. So this gives me like a lot of joy and a lot of fun. Even on nights like this, we're just kind of like meh, just, hanging out, shooting the shit. So I really appreciate it. If you're watching here on YouTube, please click the subscribe button, help us grow the channel. We just passed 2,100. We're on our way to 2,200. 2,500 is the next goal. Then we'll go for the 3K. That's the next goal. So get us to 2,500. We're less than 400 away. Be rad if we could make that by the end of December. If we could grow another big benchmark, 2,500 by the end of this month, that'd be rad. That's a big number. You start getting 2,500, then 3, and then 3, and then 5, and 5, and then 10. It's crazy. So appreciate all of you. Appreciate all your support. Again, thank you. Seriously, I do appreciate it. So you guys all have a great night and enjoy a couple days off. Thank God. I don't know about you guys. I needed it. But we'll come back and Thursday? Yeah, Thursday we've got San Antonio Spurs. And we'll hopefully have some injury update news in the meantime. I imagine the Blazers will probably take tomorrow off and then get a Thursday practice in. I imagine it's probably a blackout day. Hooper Snacks has a subscription thing tomorrow, eh? That is the plan. I have to do a podcast tomorrow night. I still make podcast appearances everywhere else. I am hoping to drop a subscription thing tomorrow. So, Eduardo, more post-game on Spotify, please. More often than not, I will drop, not more often than not. My goal is to drop the post-games in there every time. The key to that is whether or not I remember to click the record button. Otherwise, I have to wait for the YouTube download, and sometimes it takes like 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, and I just can't get to that before I get going on my other day job. So I will hopefully remember to not be a dumbass. So thank you guys again. I'll let you get out of here. Appreciate you all.